Coach Corey Raymond coaches corners over at LSU, and of course is now the recruiting coordinator as well. Corey, what's going on? How are you today?
How you doing today, Jacob?
Doing well. Always a pleasure to catch up with you. Before you came on, we're actually talking about Grant Delpit and Christian Fulton. A lot of value there with those guys in the second round. Let's start with Christian Fulton. This is a guy that you coach as the corners coach, and of course you spend a lot of time with Grant, but let's start with Christian. I think that Tennessee is getting an absolute steal. This, in my opinion, is a guy that can play from day one in the NFL.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's that's what I was hearing out of Tennessee after the draft. They thought he was a plug-and-play guy. They got because he could do multiple things, play the nickel, play outside at corner. So he had a lot of value to him, and he's going to be put like this. He's going to be NFL ready when he gets there because he's been tested. He's going to know how to go through the struggles of playing against good receivers every day and every week.
Coach, you played in the NFL, and so you realize that sometimes you got to fall to the right fit. And I think that Grant Delpit is going to a really good situation in the fact that he's got so many of his LSU brothers there. They've already been in the league. They know how the NFL works, and they can show him from day one. I know for me, even having a guy like Buster Davis there for a year, like it was good to see an LSU guy and say, Buster, tell me, hey, here's how we do it here. So I love the situation that Grant falls into.
Oh, no doubt. Definitely understand. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's like going, for me back in the day, going to the Giants and Lyndon Marshall there.
Yeah.
Even though, it's just having a guy or having Greg Jackson there, just having guys that are from, the same university that you are, just a little helping because they'll give you a little tips and little things to, hey, what to do and what not to do. And then sometimes playing with great players, you see how they go about their day, intense, how they practice, how they go about just being students of the game.
Corey Raymond joining us here on Hanging with Hester. Coach, what has your focus been over the last month and here moving forward as obviously locked out of that facility and the guys can't be around?
Well, it's just been a lot of Zoom meetings. I mean, we've been getting on our guys. It's a change. Just getting there, doing Zoom meetings, still keeping the same kind of meeting schedules, and talking ball, putting in installation, doing all those little things, and talk about the workouts, talk about school, all that stuff. So the only thing we've done is not done it in person. We've just been on a Zoom call doing it.
What's Coach Pelini's impact been thus far?
It's been good. It's going to be, similar. Some things that we've done around here before, which is real good that I've been around. He's going to be fiery. He's going to be on the guys and, just bring a little change, a little something different. Not just saying it wasn't good last year, just different.
Hey, Coach, you and I both spent time. We were both here at LSU when Bo was first the defensive coordinator back in our 07 championship team. There's no denying that, like, when Bo walks into a room, I think he brings an energy that's undeniable.
Yes, definitely. It does bring a different type of, brings an energy in there. And, it's going to magnetate. Guys are going to cling on to what he's saying because the way his delivery is going to come out, he's going to demand it, and he's going to be about the details.
All right, Coach, let's talk about these 2020 LSU Tigers. We all know you've got returning All-American Derrick Stingley coming back. And I want to talk about Sting, but I also want to talk about Cordell Flott, Jay Ward, some of these other guys that got an opportunity to play on a national championship team. And that experience that they were able to get, I think, provides major, influence on what they can be in their LSU careers.
Yes, they definitely have a chance to be really good players. Just keep doing the same. That what people don't understand that sometimes, Christian, he got nicked up a couple of times, and we was out there with like three freshmen. On the title run, we was out there with really young guys, and they got the experience, and they got to understand the standard of playing defensive back. Because not only, just getting out there to play, but understand the standards that you have to play with when you go out there. And that was the thing that they had to do. It's good from looking at it outside in, but when you get on the inside, you have to understand why you're out there and who you're out there and who you're representing.
Coach, Derrick Stingley Jr. was so dominant as a true freshman. Not many times you can be a true sophomore and be a leader on the team where everybody kind of looks up to you. And I know he's a quiet guy, but what's it like having a guy that you can put out there as a true freshman last year, as a true sophomore coming up, and he's a true lockdown corner?
Yes, it's good to have that. He's just different. He's a different type of person, different type of, athlete. It's just athleticism and also how you want to be technical at what he's doing. It's just his mindset as for a young age. That helped him a whole lot. And he was able to come in and having a good size. He he was already built, ready to go.
Corey, it's not unusual for the number one cornerback in the country to show up at LSU. Y'all do an unbelievable job of recruiting. They know the kind of development they get, and they know that they got a chance to win a lot of games and go to the NFL. But what Derrick did last year is atypical for a freshman to be that good. I think that the anticipation for a lot of people will be that, oh, well, Alex Ricks will be exactly as good as Derrick Stingley was. What kind of player do you have there, and should we temper those expectations just a little bit?
Nah, it's only, like they always say, it was only one Pat Peterson, there's only one Tyrann Matthew, there's only one Derrick Stingley. It's different. He's going to have to make his way of what does he do best for him, because every corner can't do what every other corner does. He has to go and fit what he does best and his fundamentals and his techniques and everything, because some things Derrick can get away with because he has the speed. Some things Elijah's going to be able to get away because he has the length, just like the other guys. All the guys that are here now, they have different traits that they have. We're all going to have the fundamental base, but there's going to be traits because as a defense back, you can have all the greatest technique, but at times you're going to have to run. You're going to have to use certain aspects of your athleticism that's going to have to help you win out there.
Corey,
go ahead.
How do you coach your guys mentally? What kind of attitude do you expect from them on the field? Because at that position, sometimes things are going to go wrong. How do you coach your guys mentally?
Definitely. It's all about understanding what went wrong with you out there. That's the biggest thing, is to explain if something does happen to you. Come up, man, I knew what I did. Not to have an I don't know, that glossy look. You want to make sure you understood, because things are going to happen out there. You have to understand, learn from your mistake. It's not to make that mistake continuously and keep doing the same thing over and over. You have to learn from what you've done out there. That will make you better. For me, I always say, you only become a great DB is how you get beat and how you bounce back from getting beat, because everybody's going to get that. You're going to have guys catch passes. It's how you bounce back. What's your mental aspect? And I think that would help our guys when they go on to Sundays, because some guys, they might not even get challenged in college, but you're going to get challenged one day, and you'll get challenged, and then it's how you come back from it.
Catching up with Coach Corey Raymond here on Hanging with Hester. Coach, you've been a big part of LSU being DBU, and you've been here for a long time. You played at LSU, and so you realize what that means and how special it's been for defensive backs at LSU. When you get a new freshman here, and they think they know the names, how much do you say, hey, you're playing for Patrick Peterson, you're playing for Tyrann Matthew, you're playing for Eric Reed, you're playing for all of these guys that came before you?
Oh, definitely. That's understandable. I won't have to say something. They will. That's the good thing about it. It's just like it's like a small fraternity. It's something that the guys, they're going to let the guys know they're not meeting to the standard. The guys that are around, they're going to let those guys know that it's a standard that you have to perform over here. That it's no exception. It's none whatsoever, no matter what. We don't accept failure around here. You have to work your butt off to become great. And that's what all those guys have done, and that's what's going to continuously be done, from Tre'Davious, Jamal, like you just mentioned, Pat, to all those guys. It's going to be, that's the standard it's going to be. Even when you was here with Chevins, them, and LeBron Landry and all those guys, it's just that was the man with Corey Webster. All those guys, man, it's just a standard that's set that has to be, it's a must that you get better every day, and as much that you perform to the best of your ability around here. That's why we recruit you here to play defensive back at LSU.
Coach, I'm curious, like right now, as you know, like coaches don't like their players being away from them because they like to be able to keep up with them and see what they're doing day in and day out. And not having them, I've got to imagine you've got some guys that you've got to trust that go out there and work. And I can tell you, driving by the levee, every day when I drive by the levee, and I've said this many times, Coach, there's LSU football players working on the levee, making sure they're ready for whenever everything comes back to normal. So what's that like, having to trust your players to make sure they're doing the right things?
It's so crazy. It's the culture that's here, man. Guys are going to work. It don't matter. They don't just work at LSU. They work outside of here. They all work to get better, because that's just what Coach will build in the program, and that's what guys been doing. Even from it's just been built right. Even when you was here, you will see guys working out on Sundays. You see guys working out all the time, and that's just the culture. It's also, it's a competition too, because you're working to get better, but you're competing against yourself to get better every day.
Coach, we hear kind of legendary stories about the matchups between Jamar and Derrick in preseason last year, and then obviously moving into spring this year. When you watch those two guys work against each other, what do you see?
You see two exceptional athletes going at it, and the good thing is each guy is making each other better. And it's all about technique. It's never about just out-athleting each other, because that's going to be the most, because, athletic-wise, they're about almost the same. Now, it's just an age. One is a year before the other one. Now it's all just about your technique and fundamentals, just like it's going to be for them, God willing, for them in the NFL. I mean, that's where you're going to be going against great guys. It's your fundamentals and your technique. So it's good to go against a guy that you have to be on point all the time. It's the stress that these guys are going to put on each other is only going to make you better fundamentally.
Coach, we appreciate your time. I really appreciate you hopping on here with us for a couple of minutes. I heard the phone ringing in the background. I don't want you to miss a chance recruiting. You're the recruiting coordinator, so we're going to go ahead. Hey, we're going to go ahead and let you go, man. I really appreciate you hopping on. Looking forward to seeing what that group looks like in 2020.
Definitely. Thank you. Appreciate everything, man. Hey, Jake, you're always one of my guys.
Absolutely. You as well, Coach. I appreciate that.
All right, then.